Hello and welcome back to another visual pattern challenge. Here is our pattern today. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. Your challenge is to predict how many of these smiley faces would be in step 4. If you can do that, can you predict the number in step 43? And can you write an equation to predict the number of smiley faces in any step at all? That's the challenge. If you'd like to accept it, pause the video and give it a try. All right, well, this pattern is getting big really fast. So I'm expecting this is probably quadratic, maybe it's got a big coefficient. I don't know, something like that. It's certainly not linear. It's getting big too fast for that. How can we think about this to predict step 4? Well, I guess the thing that leaps out at me is that these are just rectangles, right? So this is 3 by 4. And this is 4 by 8. And this is 5 by 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so it looks like the first dimension is getting bigger by 1 each time. So that's a 6 by something for step 4. And then we have 4, 8, 12. Looks like those are going up by 4. So 12 plus 4 would be 16. So 6 times 16. I think we're going to have a rectangle that's 6 by 16. That's going to be a lot of smiley faces. That is 96. So I'm predicting 96 smileys in step 4. Let's go ahead and analyze these numbers so we can see if this is indeed a quadratic and what the coefficient might be. So I'll make a chart with the step and the number of smileys in each step. So in step 1, 3 by 4, that's 12. In step 2, 4 by 8 is 32. In step 3, 5 by 12 is 60. And we're saying 96 for step 4. Let's go ahead and take the differences here. So 32 minus 12 is 20. And then 60 minus 32, well, 60 minus 30 would be 30. 2 less than that is 28. And then we've got 96 minus 60. So 90 minus 60 would be 30. 6 more than that would be 36. Okay, so we're not getting a constant here, and we're getting pretty big numbers for the differences. Let's go ahead and take the difference of the differences. So 28 minus 20 is 8, and 36 minus 28, that is also 8. So here we go. We've got a quadratic. When we get a constant in the difference of the differences, that means it's quadratic. So we've got an x squared, and actually, I know that this number in the second order differences, if you divide it by 2, that is the coefficient. So this is 4x squared. Once you get that much information, I mean, we're almost there to an equation. There are a couple of ways you could go about it. You could try to find 4 of each step number squared in these and block them off and see what's left over. I think I'm going to take a different approach because we've already got these rectangle dimensions. And you know, the formula for a rectangle is just the length times the width. I think we can determine the length and the width based on the step number. To me, the width here, the smaller number, just looks like 2 greater than the step number. So 2 greater than the step number would be x plus 2. So that's one thing I'm going to multiply to get the whole rectangle. The other thing, a little trickier, we got 4, 8, 12. Yeah, it looks like the step number times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So step number times 4 would just be 4x. And then, you know, we could leave this equation just like that. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this 4x. So that would be 4x squared plus 8x. And this makes sense, right? We predicted a coefficient of 4 on our x squared term because of this number we got in the differences. So that looks good. Let's just test it really quickly with a couple. So 4 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1. That would be 4 plus 8. Well, that's 12. That's what we've got. How about with step 2? 4 times 2 squared plus 8 times 2. Well, 2 squared would be 4, so that's 16 plus 16 more, that's 32. Yeah, go ahead and check this with the other steps we've got here if you'd like to verify it, but I'm satisfied that we've got a good equation here, and it's y equals 4x squared plus 8x. This is going to give us a pretty big number for the number of smileys in step 43, but we can calculate that. We can plug in step 43 here for x. So y equals 4 times 43 squared plus 8 times 43. And let's see, 43 squared is 1849, and we want to multiply that by 4, and that's going to be 7396. And then we've got 8 times 43, let's see, 8 times 40 is 320, plus 20, so 344. And if I add all that together, I should get 7740, I think. Might want to double check my arithmetic on that one, but that's how many smileys I think are going to be in step 43. Well, how did that go for you? Pretty tough one, or was that easy for you? Did you come up with 96 for step number 4? Did you end up with an equation like this? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.